Hey guys, AfterBuzz, it's your girl Chae Jones here with Miss Caitlin Carver. Now you might recognize her from I, Tanya, The Fosters, Hit the Floor, and you have a lot of new movies coming out as well. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you? It's good to see you.
I know.
I feel so happy. We met in November, right?
Yes, for Halloween Horror Nights.
Halloween Horror Nights. And then I just really loved her, so now we're back together.
Now we're back together, and it's so much fun because we have lots of things to talk about. So everyone comes into this business for a lot of different reasons. And what made you want to join this industry?
Well, I grew up as a competitive dancer. I did a little bit of theater growing up, but I focused mostly on dancing. And so my senior year of high school, I got a dance agent out here. And I spent the summer here after my graduation from high school, and I booked my first dance job, and I was like, well, I guess I should move here. So I convinced my parents. I moved out here. I worked as a dancer for about 2 years, and then it just wasn't for me. I kind of fell out of love with it, and I was like, let me just try this whole acting thing, because I always loved theater, but I didn't think I wanted to do TV and film. And I guess through dancing, being on sets, and just seeing the whole filmmaking process, it really inspired me to try to pursue an acting career.
So being a dancer first, before you chose acting, you've worked with some of the biggest names. You worked with Neo, Pitbull, and of course Queen Bee. Yep. Now, for those who might saw Beychella, because it was amazing, what was it like working with these artists that you probably grew up loving?
Especially Beyonce. That was the greatest moment of my life. I got to do the Billboard Awards with her. It was Run the World. So it was girl power. I think they hired probably 40 female dancers, and it was just such a great atmosphere. And being around her, I wasn't around Pitbull and Neo as much when I danced for them. They just came in for the performance, and that was it. But Beyonce was in every rehearsal, rehearsing with us, working so hard, harder than all of us were. So it was so awesome. She is the greatest person in the world, and I love her.
Now, your first job was with Disney. And for those who don't remember, So Random with Demi Lovato, because it was awesome and funny. You're a Shin model. What was that like?
I completely forgot about that. That was the first job I booked in LA, the very first job. And basically, it was this guy, what's his name? Matthew Scott Montgomery, I believe. Yeah.
The twins.
So he was I think this was so long ago. Oh my gosh, this was 7 years ago. He was promoting some company with Shins or something, and we were they had 3 of us behind him. I don't really even know what it was, but we had to do this funny little dance and just joke around. It was really fun though. It was my first time being on a set or anything, so I loved it. But honestly, I can't even remember what it was now.
Now, you've done Glee, you've done Nashville, you've done Southland. What would you say you've taken the most away from being on those shows before you got your first recurring role on Hit the Floor?
I think it was just learning the whole process of filmmaking. That was my favorite thing about being on all of those shows, and just watching the actors from a distance, and just studying their process and stuff, and how it all happened, because I was very new to it all. I'm from Alabama. There's no filmmaking classes or anything. We don't grow up learning about that. So it was just, for me, getting to watch people who are extremely talented, and just becoming super inspired by them.
Now, when you first booked Hit the Floor, what did you think what was going to happen going into it for this recurring role, for your first big your coming out party?
I knew it was going to be extremely hard work, because we were told from the beginning that we were going to have 9-hour rehearsals every day that we weren't shooting, and then we would have shooting days, but we would rehearse during lunch, and we would rehearse when we wrapped. So I knew it was going to be extremely hard and tiring, but it was such a dream, just being around so many lovely girls. I remember my audition process. It was the first time I had ever read a script in an audition, and I was so nervous, but I went in, and it was all of the producers, the director, James LaRosa, the creator, and I was reading for Yelena. which is played by Logan, the amazing Logan. And they had me read these sides of Yelena, and I was so nervous. And then they had me like do a solo in the audition. And I think I actually danced to Beyonce. But yeah, I just remember being incredibly nervous. But the whole process of shooting that show was wonderful. Yeah, it was great.
And then you went from Hit the Floor to another, but a different style of drama with The Fosters on Freeform. And how was that experience? Because the story and what it tells is very emotional, but like groundbreaking at the same time. That show changed a lot of people's lives and brought a lot of things to light for a lot of people.
Yeah, that was seriously the greatest experience of my entire life. It was when I first decided that I was going to quit dancing and be an actor, which funny enough, I ended up dancing on The Fosters a couple of times. I think I was like the star of the school's dance team, so they had me dance in a couple episodes. But yeah, being on that show was just like, the people are so wonderful. We were telling a story that hadn't been told really ever on TV, and we were just affecting so many people, and it was just, I mean, it was the most incredible experience ever. Yeah, I just quit dancing, and I didn't really know what was going to happen or what was next, and The Fosters came along, and it just like completely changed everything. I learned so much on that show. I learned everything I know about acting on that show, so it was like a real game changer for me.
So here's a two-part question, because the Foster family is a very big family. Mm-hmm. It's a very big fan base. Now, do people still like, hey, I remember you from the Fosters? Do they still send you, like, you know, tweet at you about it? And because the Foster spinoff is kind of happening, would you love to come back?
Oh, I would love to. I love Sierra and Maya. They're like two of my friends. They're just lovely girls. But I don't know if Haley would really be in the mix for the spinoff, but that would be awesome if they found a way to incorporate her. Yes, I still hear it all the time. Like, people will come up to me and be like, oh my God, are you Haley from the Fosters? It's actually the only thing I ever get. I haven't gotten recognized anywhere else for any other thing that I've been a part of. It's always the Fosters. Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, at Halloween Horror Nights. That's right. You're the first person to bring up something other than the Fosters, which I'm not complaining about. I think Haley, the character I played, was pretty iconic, and I'm glad that people remembered her and appreciated her for what she was, because she was kind of all over the place.
Now, Dear White People was one of the most controversial, next to 13 Reasons Why, obviously, that hit Netflix. Were you expecting how big it was? Did you see the movie beforehand, before you even read the script? How did that process go for you?
No, I didn't even know what to expect. I knew of the movie, and I got a script for my audition, and I read it, and it said that it was based on the movie. I think it was in 2014 or something, and I didn't have time to watch the movie before my audition, so I just went in pretty open and just kind of brought this random character of Muffy, and then afterwards I was pretty intrigued by the script, so I went and watched the movie, just fell in love with it, but I didn't expect the outcome of what it was, like, of the, you know, America just like, what is this? What? But I thought it was amazing. I think it's a topic that needs to be discussed, and I'm so happy that they're doing it. Yeah, I think, and everyone loves it. Yes. Everyone loves the show. It's such a wonderfully well done show. I love being a part of it. It's awesome. Yeah.
Now, season 2 is out. It's on Netflix. If you have not seen it yet, check it out. Muffy and, you know, Coco are like the bestest of friends, but they're obviously, you know, there's nepotism happening unbeknownst to Coco if you're not past episode 8.
Yeah.
So I don't
Watch
spoil anything,
yeah.
because somebody murdered it. I had to. It was right there. You had to. It's an inside joke. You have to watch that episode to understand what's happening.
That's amazing.
Because somebody murdered it. But playing Muffy for second season, like, you definitely see a more closeness between Coco and Muffy and their friendship that we might not have saw as much of in the first season. Mm-hmm. So how was that, like, you know, your growth to Conan's Muffy for the second season as well?
Yeah, I mean, it was great because Antoinette and I really, like, hit it off filming season 1 and kind of kept in touch, and I think we were also growing our friendship personally, so it really, like, portrayed on screen. But yeah, it was great. I love Muffy. I love Muffy and Coco's relationship, just like always trying to get as high up, as they can. But yeah, it was great. I mean, that show is just, they're so open to anything, and they're just like wonderful people. So everyone always feels extremely comfortable on set, which makes for really good performances and a really good show.
You got some pretty big names joining, like some little cameos that was just like so surprising. Lena Waithe, Todrick, and you're just like, what? Like, where you come from?
Well, all these people love the show. They want to be a part of it, in my opinion. That's what I think. So yeah, that was super exciting. Hopefully they'll get some good ones for season 3 too.
No, and then you have two.
Like Oprah.
Oprah, if you're listening today, if you somehow come across this, join Dear White People season 3. We appreciate you. And then you also had 2 more of the original cast members playing totally different characters than they played in the film itself, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Who? My favorite character in the entire show. Well, I can't say that, but Kelsey.
Kelsey.
She is so funny to me. I was rewatching one of the episodes a couple days. Oh, Coco's episode 4. She is so funny. I don't know. I don't know what it is about her, but I'm just immediately like drawn to her anytime she's on screen. She is so cute and funny.
One of the biggest things for season 2 was definitely the internet and trolling, and you see one of the the strongest character sort of like weakening and being more vulnerable than you've ever seen that character be before. And it's interesting because everybody feels like they have an opinion about your life when they don't live it. So how do you feel like dealing with trolls? Because obviously, they still might come to you. How would you say giving advice to somebody else to deal with it?
Yeah. It's hard because I try not to read a lot of stuff. If I do see something bad, I try to ignore it, but I'm a human. It's going to affect me. I think the biggest thing is to realize that these people are just hiding behind a computer screen so they can say whatever they want without the consequences. So I think it's just important to ignore it. I don't think you can really... like I said, these people are behind computer screens just probably suffering in their own lives. So I think it's just important to let it go and realize that you're better than what they're saying, always. Yeah, they don't know you, so.
You don't know us.
Nope.
We're new. We're new to the crowd. Now, you've had a big year. I, Tanya. Academy, it had all the awards this season. It was nominated and obviously for Best Picture. And being a part of that as Nancy Kerrigan, did you get to talk to Nancy before, or how did that work in you portraying her?
I didn't get to speak with her. It was a pretty quick turnaround from when I was cast to actually filming the movie. I wasn't able to speak with her or meet her, but there's so many interviews online that I think I spent a total of probably 36 hours just watching interviews of her over and over and over and over. Just trying to really channel what she was about and do her justice. Yeah.
What was it like for you joining this cast, being a part of this movie that you had to and maybe not even understand but subconsciously know it was going to be a big deal when it came out?
Yeah. Well, I read the script, and the only person attached was Margot. And after reading the script, I knew that it was going to be something incredible. It was seriously my favorite script I've ever read. It was so different, unique, and just really well written. And then when I found out that I was cast in it, Alice and Janney had signed on, as well as Sebastian Stan, Paul Walter-Hauser. They had cast a lot of the other people in it. And I was like, this is going to be something amazing. And a lot of these people were doing it purely out of love for this story and for the script because we didn't have a whole lot of money to shoot it. So everyone was really there just to make a wonderful movie. And I think that showed in the end, yeah.
Definitely. It's such an incredible movie. And one of your new movies you came out with, The Rachels, which I found no, seriously, I love it. It's because something your character says actually that it hit me, and you don't really think about it, but then you're just like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. You said, nobody ever remembers the victim. They always remember the villain. And that is the most powerful statement anybody could have ever made.
Wow, I just got chills. I actually forgot that I said that in that movie, but it's so accurate. And that actually is applied to I, Tonya completely.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Wow. Who knew that Rachel Richards would say something so brilliant?
She's spicy. I give her props for that.
Yeah, she's something else. Man, I had fun with that one. I was like, I'm just gonna go all the way. I'm gonna do it. I didn't hold anything back, and I think it ended up being pretty interesting. So,
what advice would you give to Rachel Richards?
Just calm down. Calm down. Life is short. Just enjoy the people around you. You do not need to be famous. Like, she just has this idea that fame is the most important thing in the world and that she needs to be on top at all times, and that's not how life is. Just enjoy it day by day and the people around you and all of that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's so true for certain people, especially in this industry last year with the whole Me Too and the Time's Up movement. And being a part of that, I really feel like this year is about female empowerment, because as female, we are very strong, and we're showing the world just what we're capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, I think we're starting to see a change, which is really exciting, and hopefully it keeps going. Yeah.
I hope so, too. And you've been working on a new movie, The Delta Girl. And can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I don't know that. See, I know a lot of stuff leading up to this now. Now, I'm trying to get information.
The Delta Girl is probably my most proud thing I've been a part of. It is set in Mississippi during the Civil Rights Movement, 1964. And it follows these two girls at an all-girls sort of boarding school type place. And my character actually runs away with an African American. So at that time, especially in Mississippi, you can imagine that was very frowned upon, and she just kind of follows her heart, which is really amazing. But it's an amazing movie. It's actually just a short right now, but they're developing it into a feature now. We're going to premiere in Jackson, Mississippi in July at the Mississippi Museum of Art, which is really exciting.
I'm excited for that because I feel like Mississippi is the one state that's a little bit stuck more in time than it needs to be.
I would say Alabama too. I think all those like deep southern states are still kind of stuck in the past a little bit. That was why I really wanted to do this film, because I still see it happening in the South, unfortunately. And I think any way that we can talk about this topic and hopefully change people's opinions and mindsets about it is extremely important. So I had been really itching to do something in the South that talks about racism. I've written a film about it. It's just a very long process to get things off the ground, and so when this opportunity came to me, it was like everything I had been dying to do. Because it feels so at home, being from Alabama and being from that world, and seeing how people are still living in the past. And it just it breaks my heart, but it's also incredible that we're creating stories and telling these stories about it to hopefully change people's mindsets.
Definitely. Because, Donald Glover came out, I should say Childish Gambino came out with This Is America. And when you saw that, if you've seen it,
I have.
How did that make you feel watching?
I was honestly a bit confused, I think, as everyone was when we first watched it. I thought it was amazing and very brave. It's just kind of one of those things where you just sit back after and you just think about all of it and everything that's happening and that happens in this world. And for someone like him to put something out like this, I think was wonderful, honestly. Yeah. How did you feel?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I was confused at first because he's doing a happy dance.
Yeah, see, I thought it was gonna be a really fun dance, which I actually loved. I was like, oh, this is so cool and great and fun, and then it just took a
turn.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. And it's very powerful what he did, and it's trying to show the world that it's not that we should just forget about our history, but it's that you shouldn't forget about it either.
Yep.
Because it happened to us, and you shouldn't try to push it to the wayside to make your life easier.
Yep. That's so true.
basically.
Yeah. I completely agree with that.
I feel like it's almost the same way in Dear White People is, in a way, like, it's bringing that more to the forefront, and people have an issue with it for some reason, for telling the truth. Like Sam said, a black woman tells the truth, and some people lose their minds.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? That's even, like, a thing? It blows my, like, it blows my mind completely. I'm all about equality with everything in this entire world. Every person, every race, every gender, anything. I don't see why anyone should be treated differently. It just blows I can't seem to wrap my head around it. And I never have been able to my entire life, even growing up in Alabama. I've never been able to comprehend why people are separated and treated differently. I get like really worked up talking about it.
That's how we, like, seriously, when we met, like, we actually had a real in-depth conversation about Dear White People, and you were telling me your opinion, and it was amazing to hear from you.
Yeah.
Your perspective of it.
Yeah.
Because I understand why, like, it hit to me, but I was very, like, interested in, like, listening to your opinion about it.
Yeah. I mean, I love the show, and I think it's incredible. All of these things that are, you know, like even the film that I just did, The Delta Girl, just these topics that people can't seem to get out of. I'm like, why is this still a thing? Why are people still holding on to the past? And so, yeah, I like being a part of things that make the audience think. That's like one of my biggest goals with any script that I read, any movie that I take or TV show, is it's important for me to sort of like attempt to make a difference in someone's life. Yeah.
Well, that goes my question. I was going to ask, what has been the best part about being, you know, having your career so far as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the answer, is just being able to make a difference in someone's life. Of course, just like telling stories and getting to be creative is also fun, but like pretty much everything that I've done, I can look at it from an outside perspective and be like, okay, I'm hoping that at least one person is affected by this. Like with the Fosters, being a part of that show, a lot of people felt something from that show, whether it was foster kids or adopted kids, any of those things. And The Delta Girl, Dear White People, I did a show called Timeless about, my episode was about space race, about the lunar module being sent up to space. And it's like, I don't even know why I brought that up, but it's just like all these things. Yeah, all these things hold like a really strong meaning. The Rachels, even like seeing this broken girl lash out in all the wrong ways. I just really hope that, I guess anything that I do, that people can really learn something from it and hopefully are affected by it in different ways.
I will say the only thing that upset me about the Rachels, though, was like you pled guilty for something you didn't do. If anything, the other girl should have went to jail. She let her fall. That's an accessory to murder.
I know. It's pretty wild. Yeah, all she wanted was that attention that she got at the end. That's what she strived for. And when people watch that movie, their first thing is like, wow, this girl is crazy. This girl's a lunatic. And it's true. She had this horrible home life, and she lashed out, and all she ever wanted was to be loved. And at the end, she felt that from the sequence at the end where everyone's taking pictures, and then it cuts to everyone like cheering for her, because that's what she sees as this wonderful attention that everyone's giving her.
Very Tanya-esque.
Yeah, true. Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the ladies are that's awesome. Well, guys, I love talking to her, but unfortunately, we have to end.
I know.
Anything new else coming up besides Delta Girls you want to let them know?
I'm trying to think. I'm working on like developing a few things, which is really exciting. I want to get into like producing and stuff, so I'm working with I'm going to be doing another film with the director of The Delta Girl in the fall, and then I think a movie that I did, there's a sequel to, so I might be doing that in December, but everything's kind of up in the air. I kind of just take everything like day by day, and when I'm not working, I just really work on myself and my craft and write and try to develop cool projects. So I stay busy, but I never know what's next, pretty much.
Well, sometimes it's how it has to be.
Yeah.
It works out in the spectrum. Guys, Chae Jones here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check out Kaylin Carver and her amazing projects. You can check it out on Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime. It's going to be everywhere. Thank you so much for guys for watching.